Good evening, everybody, and welcome back once again to Maximus the Fourth. What I have here in my hand is an old school original bottle of Pepsi Twist from 2000, and then right here is a SodaStream machine. The title of today's video is going to be What Would Happen If You Recarbonated an Original Bottle of Pepsi Twist Using a SodaStream Machine. Today, I'm going to walk you guys through a lot of the history of Pepsi Twist. In general, the 2010s was the 2000s was a really big sporadic decade for Pepsi, and there was a lot that was going on, and even just so much to talk about. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Pepsi Twist was first test marketed in 1999. And after a successful test marketing taste test campaign, it was officially released in 2000, both diet and regular. The initial run of Pepsi Twist lasted all the way from 2000 to 2006, but there was so much that happened in between those time years. Like, for instance, Pepsi Blue had been released for the very first time, and then there was Pepsi Vanilla, and this came out in 2002. And then there's Pepsi Vanilla, which came out in 2003. And then in 2004, Pepsi Blue was discontinued. And then let's see here. In 2005, Pepsi Lime had come out. And that same year, they had discontinued the original formula of Wild Cherry Pepsi, and they renamed and reformulated it into Pepsi Wild Cherry. So yes, the name flip-flopped itself. And if you move up a little bit further to 2006, Pepsi Jazz was released for the very first time. 3 different flavors, which I have 2 here. Now, by 2006, the initial run of Pepsi Twist was eventually discontinued. And then once 2008 came, I think Pepsi Jazz was completely discontinued altogether. I think it might have been even up until 2009 that it lasted. And it was just a diet drink. But Pepsi Twist eventually did come back. To backtrack just a little bit, also in 2007, a drink that had come back out was Pepsi Tropical Chill under a different name, and it was Pepsi Summer Mix. And this one was very rare. It was discontinued pretty quick. But once 2008 came, Pepsi Vanilla was discontinued. And to backtrack just a little bit, Pepsi Lime was discontinued in 2007, the initial run. And then in 2008, Pepsi Twist had finally come back, but under a different name as Pepsi NFL Kickoff. There's just so much that was going on in that decade. Like, I remember in 2002, the Giants had made it into the World Series with the Anaheim Angels, and it was such a heartbreaking World Series for me because the Giants were getting ready to sweep the Angels. They were up 3-0, and I remember one of the games that Barry Bonds played in, he hit like 2 or 3 home runs. And the Giants, to start out, was absolutely cleaning the Anaheim Angels' clock. But then what happened is that eventually, the Angels made a complete comeback and ended up winning the next 4 games and beat the Giants. So that was a heartbreaker. But Mike Myers, Gold Member, I think, came out in 2002, and by that point, when that movie came out, Mike Myers was promoting the living daylights out of Pepsi Twist, and in that same time period, Britney Spears was promoting Pepsi Blue. There's just a lot that was going on, and out of all these sodas, I'm not saying that Pepsi Twist is my favorite one, but there's definitely some very deep, great nostalgia to it. And you can see right here that it says great new taste. And it's very similar to what the Pepsi Wild Cherry says, great new taste. And there were a lot of flavors that were being revamped and stuff in that time period. And in general, pop culture was amazing in like 1997 to 1999, and it just kept getting even better and better around 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. But once 2004 hit and Pepsi Blue was discontinued, things just started changing a lot. YouTube was starting to appear in 2006. It just seemed like people weren't near as authentic as they once were. And it was a hard time for me because my parents were getting a divorce when I was 9 years old. And I think that was all the way back in, geez, I got to do math, like 2003. I was 9 years old, so that was 2001. But it was a crazy, wild decade, to say the least. But not to get too off topic here, what would happen if you recarbonated an original bottle of Pepsi Twist? There's only one way to find out. Let's fill this thing up all the way and get this done and over with. This bottle has already been opened because I used it in a different video of the taste test comparison to an old Pepsi Twist, a modern day one. But this is still the original content, so I would not cheat you guys here. Sorry for my sporadicness, you guys. I know I might seem a little bit off in this video. It's been a rough day, but you know, it's also good though. Those rough days, they're a testament to what you can handle. So, all right, we should be clicked in here. Let's get this Pepsi Twist recarbonated and try it out. Okay, that's got to be enough. The old massaging process of slowly releasing this thing. Pepsi Twist still is available in many other countries, by the way. It's been discontinued in the States since 2008, but yeah, there's a lot of countries like Italy, perfect. Italy, oh geez, I can't even think, it's the worst. Just drawing a blank. Poland and Argentina, countries like that. It wouldn't surprise me if you can find it in Russia as well. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves a live, original, completely recarbonated Pepsi Twist. I had somebody that left a comment recently on my Pepsi Weeb Chew video. The guy said, I believe you can hit 1 million subscribers. I just know it. What a vote of confidence that is. Let's try this out. Definitely getting that same old aged taste that I usually get when I try an old Pepsi Twist, but that's to be expected. I feel like, as I've said in previous videos when I've done Pepsi Twist, that it's so old that I can't really taste the lemon. But however, with it being recarbonated, even though I might not exactly taste the lemon, I really feel like that carbonation puts off an illusion like I can taste it. Definitely getting some lemon vibes that carbonation is bringing out that you cannot feel or taste or even get the illusion that it even exists without that carbonation. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty much my assessment there for the recarbonated Pepsi Twist. Let's just go ahead and get this thing transferred back where it belongs. And we're going to save this for future content, because there's got to be more content I could do with Pepsi Twist. But yeah, you guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think about the 2000s when it came to Pepsi? I think it was the craziest, wildest year ever. I don't think any decade will ever top that one. It was just a really, really sporadic decade in general. Like, there's people like so many baseball players. Those were the days where baseball was at the peak. I know 80s baseball cards. In the 80s, baseball cards were huge, but in the 2000s, it was crazy. Like, I used to go all the time with my dad to the sports card shop. But okay, you guys, there you have it. Every last bit of the contents has been retransferred back into the old school Pepsi Twist bottle. So at the end of the day, what would happen if you recarbonated an original bottle of Pepsi Twist? That's what happens. Make sure you guys check the description down below. I got 3 videos that I need to promote to 1,000 views. The first one is Massive Church Breakfast, a mukbang that I took on 6 months ago. The second one is Cherry Coke 2-liter chug. And then the third one is what is actually the difference between Rebel and Red Bull. I'll make sure to link all 3 of those videos down in the description of this video. And for all other extras and even ways to help support this channel, it's all going to be listed down in the description below. Maximus the Fourth here. As always, I thank you guys for watching. And have yourselves a fantastic day. God bless you all.